I'm Lauren Parker, 32, the heartbeat of our family's company. Or so I believed, until I walked into my office and saw my brother's wife, Emily, claiming it with a shiny new nameplate. My coffee cup nearly slipped from my hand as my phone pinged with Mom's text. "She's family, Lauren. Share." The words burned, rekindling the sting of favoritism I'd battled my whole life. Emily lounged in my chair, her smug grin taunting me. My years of late-night work tossed aside like crumpled paper. But before I reveal how I turned their betrayal into my victory on the executive floor, drop a comment sharing where you're tuning in from, and smash that subscribe button if you've ever been sidelined by family when you deserve to shine. Trust me, my next move left them stunned, with my name blazing on a new door. To understand why seeing Emily's nameplate on my office door cut me like a dagger through my heart, you need to know the Parker family legacy. Our company, Parker Imports, is a titan in Seattle's wine and spirits industry, distributing premium labels to high-end restaurants and retailers across the West Coast, with a valuation of $50 million and a reputation for excellence forged by my grandfather's grit. Its sleek headquarters, a glass tower overlooking Puget Sound, symbolizes decades of dominance, generating $15 million in annual revenue through exclusive contracts with European vineyards. I joined right after college, pouring my soul into every deal, every late-night strategy session, believing I was the linchpin for the company's future. But my older brother, Brian, always held the spotlight. Mom's golden boy, charming, but often coasting on charisma over substance. When he married Emily, a polished MBA with a talent for self-promotion, she swept into Parker Imports like she was born to rule it. I thought we'd be partners, but Mom's favoritism, always skewed toward Brian, soon embraced Emily, leaving me fighting for scraps of recognition. That morning, I walked into the office, the scent of polished wood and fresh coffee filling the air, ready to finalize a deal with a Napa Valley vineyard. Instead, I froze at my office door, where a shiny brass nameplate read, "Emily Parker, Director of Operations." My title, my space. My coffee cup nearly slipped from my trembling hands as my phone pinged with Mom's text. "She's family, Lauren. Share." Inside, Emily lounged in my chair, her smug grin a knife's edge, my years of organized files shoved into a corner like trash. "Surprise," she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "Mom thought I'd be a better fit here." The betrayal seared through me, reigniting a lifetime of being sidelined in a company I'd helped grow. I wanted to scream, but I forced a tight smile, my mind already spinning with a plan to reclaim what was mine. I didn't confront Emily or Mom that day, didn't let the sting of betrayal spill into words. Instead, I retreated to the cramped cubicle they'd relegated me to, a gray box tucked in the corner of Parker Imports' bustling office, where the hum of fluorescent lights buzzed like a taunt above my head. The space felt like a cage. My once proud desk replaced by a wobbly chair and a flickering computer screen. My demotion, a silent scream of dismissal. But I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. For 3 years, I'd been nurturing a secret passion project, a boutique wine brand called Parker Vine, focused on sustainable, small-batch vineyards that Parker Imports had scoffed at in favor of mass-market deals. I'd kept it hidden, funding it with every spare dollar from my savings, working late nights in my Seattle apartment. The glow of my laptop cast shadows on the walls as I designed labels, researched eco-friendly suppliers, and pitched to niche retailers across the West Coast. Each rejection letter felt like a punch. Each sleepless night fueled doubts that whispered I'd never outshine Brian's charm or Emily's polish. "You're wasting your time." I could hear Mom's voice in my head, echoing her text. "Share." But something deeper drove me, the need to prove I was more than Brian's shadow or Emily's stepping stone, that my work mattered. I spent weekends driving to small vineyards, tasting their wines, building relationships with growers who shared my vision for sustainability. I poured my heart into every detail, from the embossed logo on the bottle to the pitch deck I refined until my eyes burned. My breakthrough came when a high-end restaurant chain in California, known for its exclusive clientele, signed a 6-figure contract for Parker Vine after a blind tasting that left their sommelier speechless. "This is the future of wine," he'd said, shaking my hand. That moment lit a fire in me, and I secured a meeting with Parker Imports' board, not as a family member, but as Lauren Parker, entrepreneur. I didn't breathe a word to Mom, Brian, or Emily, knowing they'd dismiss it as a hobby or try to claim credit. As Parker Vine gained traction, I hired a small team, misfits like me, overlooked but brilliant. A graphic designer who'd been fired for being too bold, a logistics expert who'd never gotten a fair shot, a sommelier with a rap sheet but unmatched taste. Together, we built a supply chain that rivaled Parker Imports' best, with orders flooding in from Portland to San Diego. The night before the board meeting, I paced my apartment, the city's skyline twinkling beyond my window. My heart pounded with equal parts fear and determination. Papers were strewn across my coffee table. Mock-ups of Parker Vine's bottles gleamed under the lamplight. I rehearsed my pitch until dawn. I wasn't just fighting to reclaim my office. I was fighting for my place in a family that had never truly seen me, for the right to define my own legacy in a company I'd helped build. The boardroom at Parker Imports was a fortress of glass and steel. The Seattle skyline shimmered through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting a soft glow over the polished mahogany table. I walked in, my heels clicking sharply on the hardwood floor, my arms heavy with a portfolio of contracts and a prototype bottle of Parker Vine's signature Merlot, its deep red liquid catching the morning light. Mom, Brian, and Emily sat at the head of the table, flanked by board members in crisp suits, their faces a mix of curiosity and condescension, as if I'd wandered into the wrong room. "Lauren, what's this about?" Mom asked, her voice clipped, her eyes narrowing as if I was wasting their time. Brian leaned back, arms crossed, his familiar smirk mirroring Emily's, who tapped her pen with a rhythm that screamed impatience. I took a deep breath, steadying the tremor in my hands, and began. "For 3 years, I've built Parker Vine, a boutique wine brand focused on sustainable vineyards," I said, my voice clear and unwavering. I opened my portfolio, revealing contracts with high-end restaurants from San Francisco to Los Angeles, a client list that included a Michelin-starred chain, and a valuation of $10 million, surpassing Parker Imports' recent quarterly profits. "I've leased an office on the executive floor," I added, sliding a glossy photo across the table. A sleek door, etched with Parker Vine, Lauren Parker, CEO in bold gold lettering. The room fell silent. The only sound, the faint hum of the air conditioning and the rustle of papers as board members leaned forward. Emily's smug smile vanished, her pen frozen mid-tap, her eyes wide with shock. Brian's jaw dropped, his confident posture crumbling as he fumbled for words. Mom's fingers trembled as she picked up the contract, her eyes scanning the numbers. $2 million in annual revenue, partnerships with eco-conscious growers, a supply chain I'd built from scratch. "You did this on your own?" she whispered, her voice barely audible, her face pale as if seeing me for the first time. I nodded, meeting her gaze. "While you gave my office to Emily, I built something better, something that's redefining this industry." The board members exchanged glances, their murmurs of approval breaking the silence. One, a grizzled veteran of the wine trade, spoke up. "This is game-changing, Lauren. We need this vision." The vote was unanimous. Parker Vine would partner with Parker Imports, not be absorbed, granting me a seat at the table I'd earned through sweat and sleepless nights. As the meeting ended, I walked out, my heart pounding with a rush of vindication. I paused at my new office door. the gold lettering of Parker Vine gleaming under the fluorescent lights, a beacon of everything I'd fought for. Every moment I'd been overlooked, every late-night pitch, every rejection that had stung like a whip, it had all led to this. I wasn't just reclaiming my office. I was rewriting my place in a family that had never truly seen me. And the look on Emily's face told me they'd never underestimate me again. That evening, I called a family meeting at Mom's house. The dining room, where I'd swallowed years of slights, was now bathed in the soft glow of a chandelier, its light glinting off the polished oak table. The air was thick with tension. The faint clink of Mom's teacup against its saucer was the only sound. She, Brian, and Emily sat across from me, their faces a mix of unease and defiance. I stood at the head of the table. My hands gripped the back of a chair, its wood cool under my palms, as I faced the family that had pushed me aside. "Why didn't you tell us about Parker Vine?" Mom demanded, her voice sharp with hurt, her fingers twisting the napkin in her lap. "You gave my office to Emily without a word," I shot back, my voice steady but raw, cutting through the heavy silence. "You told me to share, like my work meant nothing. Do you know how that felt? To be pushed aside for someone who never earned it?" I closed the deal with the Napa Valley Vineyard, streamlined our supply chain, saved us millions in logistics. Yet you handed my title to Emily like I was invisible. Emily flushed, her usual poise crumbling, her eyes darting to the floor. "I was trying to help the company," she stammered, her voice thin, her hands fidgeting with her bracelet. Brian jumped in, his arms crossed defensively, his jaw tight. "You're overreacting, Lauren. Emily's family. We thought she'd bring fresh ideas." "Family doesn't erase my contributions," I said, my eyes locking onto Mom's, who looked away, her silence deafening. "For years, I've been the one in the trenches, staying late to fix contracts, pitching clients, while you propped up Brian's charm and Emily's polish. I deserved better. Deserved to be seen." The room felt smaller, the weight of my words pressing against the walls. Mom's shoulders slumped, her napkin now a crumpled mess in her hands. Finally, she spoke, her voice soft, almost broken. "I thought I was keeping the peace, Lauren. I didn't want conflict between you and Brian, so I leaned on Emily to balance things. I didn't realize I was choosing sides." Brian shifted uncomfortably, his voice low. "I leaned on Emily's ideas to boost my own standing," he admitted, his eyes avoiding mine. "I was scared you'd outshine me, Lauren. I didn't see how much you were doing." Their confessions laid bare a family pattern, favoritism dressed as unity, sidelining me to avoid conflict. It wasn't just about the office, it was about a lifetime of dismissing my worth to keep Brian's ego intact. My throat tightened, the hurt raw, but their honesty cracked open a door to something new. "I built Parker Vine to prove my worth," I said, my voice softening but firm. "But I shouldn't have had to. I shouldn't have to fight for my family to see me." Mom reached out, her hand trembling as it hovered over mine, then pulled back, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I'm sorry, Lauren," she whispered. "I failed you." The apology hung in the air, fragile but real, a first step toward mending what was broken. But I knew trust would demand more than words. In the weeks that followed, the family dynamic began to shift, like a tide slowly turning under the soft glow of Seattle's gray skies. We gathered in Mom's living room, the same space where I'd once swallowed years of slights, now warmed by the flicker of a fireplace. Its crackling logs a quiet backdrop to our tentative steps toward healing. Mom came to me first, her eyes red-rimmed from sleepless nights, her usual poise softened by regret. "I'm so proud of you, Lauren," she said, her voice breaking as she sat across from me, clutching a mug of coffee. "I underestimated you, and I'm sorry. I should have seen your strength sooner." Her words felt like a balm, but the sting of her text, "Share," still lingered, a reminder of how easily she'd sidelined me. Brian and Emily followed. Their offer to reorganize Parker Imports' structure caught me off guard. A co-director role alongside Emily, with equal say in strategy. I took a deep breath, the scent of cedar from the fireplace grounding me, and set a boundary. "Parker Vine stays independent," I said firmly, my voice steady despite the knot in my chest. "I'll collaborate, but not under your terms. I've earned my place." To my surprise, they nodded, no trace of argument in their eyes. We began integrating Parker Vine's sustainable practices into Parker Imports. My eco-friendly suppliers now featured in boardroom discussions. Emily, once all smug grins, started seeking my input, her voice hesitant but genuine, as she pitched ideas for joint marketing campaigns. Her cautious respect was new, fragile, but real. A far cry from the woman who'd claimed my office. Brian took me out for coffee at a waterfront cafe. The salty breeze mingled with the aroma of espresso as he admitted his fault. "I was threatened by your drive, Lauren," he said, his eyes fixed on the rippling waves of Puget Sound. "I leaned on Emily to boost my own standing, scared you'd outshine me. I was wrong." His honesty echoed our family's old habit of prioritizing image over truth, a pattern we were finally starting to break. We set new rules for the company: transparency in decisions, no more favoritism, every voice heard. Mom showed up to my next board meeting. Her presence, a quiet signal of support. Her notes, scribbled with ideas inspired by Parker Vine's vision. One evening, as I worked late in my new office, the skyline twinkling beyond the glass, Mom stopped by. Her hands clutched a framed photo of my office door. The gold lettering read, "Parker Vine, Lauren Parker, CEO," gleaming in the frame. On the back, her handwriting read, "To Lauren, who showed us what family can mean." I held the frame, my throat tight, tears prickling my eyes. That gesture, small but heavy with sincerity, sparked a cautious hope in my heart. We weren't fully healed. The wounds of betrayal ran deep. But we were rebuilding, not just as colleagues in a $50 million empire, but as a family learning to value each other's worth, one honest step at a time. 6 months later, Parker Imports hums with a new energy. Its glass tower in Seattle gleams under the morning sun, and Parker Vine stands as its radiant heart, a testament to what resilience can build. My office on the executive floor, with its sleek desk and floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Puget Sound, is more than a space. It's a monument to every late night, every rejection, every moment I refused to let betrayal define me. The air in our boardroom now carries a different weight, no longer thick with unspoken slights, but alive with collaboration. Mom has become my fiercest advocate, her voice strong as she champions Parker Vine's sustainable vision at board meetings. Her pride no longer reserved for Brian's charm. She's swapped her dismissive nods for detailed questions about my supply chain. Her notes, scribbled with ideas to expand our eco-friendly partnerships, a far cry from the woman who once texted me to share. Emily and I aren't best friends, but we've carved out a rhythm. Co-leading with a mutual respect that feels hard-won, but genuine. She's pitched joint campaigns that blend Parker Vine's boutique ethos with Parker Imports' scale, her once smug grin, replaced by a cautious smile that acknowledges my place. Brian, who used to coast on charisma, now checks in weekly. His office door, always open for brainstorming sessions where he listens, really listens, to my ideas. "I'm learning from you, Lauren," he said recently, his voice free of the defensiveness that once colored our talks, a nod to our family's old habit of prioritizing image over truth. We've rewritten the rules at Parker Imports, transparency in every decision, no more favoritism, every voice valued. Last month, we hosted a launch event for Parker Vine's new Chardonnay. The room buzzed with industry leaders, toasting bottles etched with my logo. Mom beamed as she introduced me as the visionary behind our future. That night, as I stood in my office, the Seattle skyline twinkling beyond the glass, I reflected on the journey. The day Emily took my office could have shattered me, but it ignited a fire to build something stronger, something mine. I've learned. Family isn't about blind loyalty or inherited roles. It's about seeing each other's worth and fighting for fairness, even when it's hard. I didn't need their approval to know my value. I needed to claim it myself, to stand tall in a $50 million empire I helped redefine. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, felt your hard work dismissed, or fought to prove your worth, know this: your value doesn't hinge on their recognition. Stand up. Carve your own path. Let your success roar. Have you ever had to fight for your place? To make those closest to you see your light? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you rose above. If this story hit home, smash that like button and subscribe for more tales of turning betrayal into triumph. And share this with someone who needs a reminder. Your worth is yours to define, no matter who tries to take your place.